Well, hello, everybody, and welcome to Coffee with Kenobi CWK live every Monday night at 8 o'clock p.m. Central Standard Time. I am your host, Dan Z. Thrilled to be here with each and every one of you, talking Star Wars with some of my favorite people in the galaxy. So, I'm not sure if you can tell, but things are a little bit different in the Coffee with Kenobi studios today. We had I don't know, it was Minox, or something happened to the hyperdrive or what, but my MacBook or my Mac Mini that I've been using went on the fritz. So this is the laptop that I used when Coffee with Kenobi first started almost 8 years ago. But hey, I think it's going to work. I'm even using the original microphone that I had way back in the day. So I'm excited, kind of kicking it old school. Alex, welcome to the show, man. He says, nice shirt. Thank you so much, Alex. This is the original Stitch Star Wars design that they let me pick out. I've got a white one too. You may have seen on our Instagram page, and it's pretty cool. I wore it today to school because I was teaching the hero's journey, introducing A New Hope to some students for the very first time. So of course I had to wear the shirt, of course. All right, let's say hello to everybody. Hello, Minta. Good to have you on the show as always. Terry, evening to you, good sir. Mary is here. Happy Monday to you, Mary. Mary posted a selfie in the CWK Cafe of the CWK Alliance sweatshirt she got for being a member of the CWK Alliance, and a really cool mask too. So Mary, thank you for your support as always. Alex, of course. Hello, buddy. And Blake, hello, man. You said what's one of my favorite Star Wars shirts last week. Well, here's one of them, buddy. Here is one of them. Aaron, hello. Aaron, good to have you on the show again. Mason is here piloting Mrs. Zare's Facebook account. Hello, Mace. Ben, oh, the best part of Monday. Well, thanks, brother. It's good to have you. Really, really appreciate that so much. Terry says, Jawas. Those wretched creatures, I know. Andrew is here. Had to join in on this top 5 because video games. Andrew, I'm so glad. I thought about you when we had this topic because I know you're a big Star Wars video game fan. Of course, you were on Coffee with Kenobi talking about Star Wars Squadrons, right? Yeah, Star Wars Squadrons. So good to have you, man. You're welcome anytime, of course, on CWK Live, naturally. And Brian is here as well. Hello, Brian. Good to have you, brother. So nice to have all of you here. Well, we got a fun show. We're going to talk about our top 5 favorite Star Wars video games you may have seen, but I posted in Coffee with Kenobi on our Facebook page, as well as on in the CWK Cafe, a link to a fun article. I believe it was Sci-Fi that talked about and showed 50 Star Wars video games. So we're going to have some fun. I had forgotten how many there are Star Wars video games out there or have been, over time. So pretty exciting. To broadcast system audio. Oh, okay. Can everybody hear me okay? It seems that you can. Let's see what happens. I'm going to update something and hopefully it won't mess us up. Let's find out. Oh, no, I'm not going to do that now. We're going to install it later. Yeah, we're going to install it later. Everybody can hear me okay, right? Give me a thumbs up if you can. I think that you can. My microphone seems to be working pretty well, so that is always good news. All right, so top 5 favorite Star Wars video games. Number 5 for me was actually rated on that link I sent out as the worst Star Wars video game ever. Star Wars Masters of Terraskasi. I'm not exactly sure on the pronunciation, but you know what? When I was a kid, I guess I wasn't a kid, I was in college, but it was for the PlayStation 2. It was like Mortal Kombat meets Star Wars. Apparently the gaming mechanics aren't good, and it was slow, and it lagged, and blah, blah, blah. I don't remember any of that. I remember having fun playing the game. I had a great time with it. There was a cool place to fight in the carbon freeze chamber that was very memorable to me. And you would see if you were on the surface of Cloud City and you would see like twin cloud cars flying by and things like that. So, and everybody's saying that it sounds good. I'm getting a lot of thumbs up, so that's great. Mason's giving me the high five. Minta says she's not a big gamer, but that's okay. I'm not really a big gamer anymore either. I used to be. But now it's more fun because I get to play with Mason. But Andrew loves the game Masters of Terraskasi because of its ridiculousness. Great. I love it. Josh is here as well. Good to have you, Josh. No problem on being late, buddy. We're happy to have you. Mary says they all give me motion sickness, so I asked Chaz for his favorites. Perfect. We love Chaz's input. He says number 5, Force Unleashed, the original Force Unleashed. I'm assuming that's cool. Great, and everybody else share your top 5s here as well. Here we go. Hey, Matthew, good to have you, buddy. So good to have you on the show. Brian loved Masters of Terrascasi as well. Here we go, Blake. The Pod Racer game on Nintendo 64 for me. Me and my brother rented it from Blockbuster nonstop, showing my age. Oh, that's cool. Yeah, that was fun. I'll probably put that one in my top 10. But I remember that one very well. And it had like a rumble pack, I think you could attach to the controller to make it shake, which is funny. Terry's number 5 is Jedi Knight 3, Jedi Academy. That one was ranked very, very high in all the lists I saw. That's really cool. Number 5 for me to Revenge of the Sith video game. This was my first Star Wars game. I loved it since it's based on the film. Oh, cool. I never played that one, me too. I bet it was awesome. Ooh, 5 for Andrew. Star Wars Arcade. The first Star Wars, pardon me, first Star Wars video game I ever played. And the only arcade game I would play anytime. Went to Showbiz, Pizza, or Aladdin's Castle in the mall. So many tokens were put in those machines. Oh, what a fun memory. Yeah, that's great. I love that game. Number 5 for Alex. Nintendo 64 Star Wars Rogue Squadron. Alex, that would probably be number 6 for me. I love that one. I had a lot of fun with that one. And it was ranked very, very high in all the lists I looked up as well. Ben's number 5 Squadron's got to give it some love. Cool. I bet we'll see that one a lot. Matthew says Battlefront. Number 5, Matthew, do you mean the original Battlefront, I'm guessing? Or the one that came out for the PS4 a couple years ago? Either way, both good games. Oh, Ben's is on his list later, which is good. Josh is not a big gamer, so it's been a while for most of these. Number 5, Star Wars, Lego Star Wars The Complete Saga. Look, that game is awesome, and I know that's going to come up later. I was right. Okay, good, Matthew. That's cool. Number 5 for Mason. Mason had a lot of fun with this one. Mason's number 5 is Lego The Force Awakens. We play that on the PS4. He loves that game. We have fun with that. And Harrison Ford actually loaned his voice to do some original dialogue for it. They hunt down some Rathars. It was really cool, but Mason and I had a lot of fun with that one. So good. Aaron says, not a big gamer anymore. Last time I played a Star Wars game was when I had a Nintendo 64. So I have 2 to choose from, but both have been mentioned already. Hey, all good, man. All good. So cool. Thomas, hello. Number 5, Star Wars Bounty Hunter. I've never played that one either. Eric, good to see you, man. Very good to see you. I love it. All right, get those lists ready. Let's go into number 4 of our favorite Star Wars video games. Number 4 is for me, now this is going to make people laugh who know it, The Empire Strikes Back Atari game for the 2600. Look, I suppose I should have said this at the beginning, but it probably goes without saying. These games are not, my top 5 is not the best games ever. These are the games that brought me the most joy, that I played the most, and whenever they came out at whatever stage of my life I was in. I remember visibly growing up in New Orleans playing this game with my brother over and over. And you just move this little tiny 8-bit snow speeder, it's basically a block, back and forth and shoot at these AT-ATs. There's no even mention of a tow cable. Very digitized. I mean, obviously old school Atari. But I loved it. I thought it was just mesmerizingly cool. Now I knew in the back of my mind that it wasn't as good as it could have been or would be later. But yeah, super good. Let's see. Here's some fun lists here from people. Dave, welcome to the show. Dave says he loves Lego Star Wars games. They are great fun. Meanto's number 4, the Clone Wars game. I did play the video game for a short time, but I got into the online game and I was hooked till they shut the site down. You know what? I do remember that. That was a cool one. Dave wants to know if that was on GameCube. You know, I don't know. I just know it was on the... that might be a different one, but the one I'm thinking of is the original Atari 2600 one. We watched a great video of it tonight. Mason and I did on YouTube. Mary's number 4, Battlefront. Oh, actually, Chaz's number 4, Battlefront Elite Squadrons. Number 4 for Terry, Jedi Knight 2, Jedi Outcast. I spent many sleepless nights with this game. I'm noticing a pattern, Terry. That's cool stuff. Number 4, Empire Strikes Back for Nintendo. Are you talking Super Empire Strikes Back? Is that the one you're talking about, Eric? That one came up very, very high, too, because that was one of the first games, all those Super Nintendo games, where they actually started to have real sound effects from the movies, and that was unheard of at the time, so that was a really cool thing. Number 4 for Thomas, the original Star Wars Battlefront 2. I played that game until the game cracked. Wow. So many hours of middle school on that game. I love it. I know Mason is cheering somewhere in the house for that. Number 4 for Blake. Star Wars Squadrons. I have over 50 hours in the online multiplayer, which I didn't think I'd invest in that game. I love it. Oh, that's cool. I'm glad. Number 4 for Matthew. Lego The Complete Saga. Right on. Right on. I'm telling you, that one's coming up later. Number 4 for Andrew. Jedi Knight Dark Forces 2. This fully filmed cutscene satiated my appetite for new Star Wars movies between the special editions and Episode 1. The ability to change the story by what force powers you picked, it was mind-blowing. It was also my intro to online gaming. Well, that's cool, Andrew. Jedi Knight Dark Force 2. Number 4 for Brian, Shadows of the Empire for the Nintendo 64. Fascinating. That was, of course, a big a multi-platform thing where they had the video game, they had a soundtrack, they had a book. It was a big deal when it came out. Excuse me. My goodness, I apologize. Josh, Star Wars Galaxy of Heroes. Oh, Mason, yeah, I think you forgot that one. Or maybe you didn't. Maybe you just like the other ones better, which is great. This is a game I most often played on my list besides number 1. It's a pretty fun mobile RPG game. Yes. He says he's dedicated 90% of his life into getting Thrawn, not an easy task. Alex is number 4. The Star Wars game Rebel Assault 2 for the PC. It was my first Star Wars video game I ever played, and you got to fly a B-Wing. My favorite Star Wars fighter ever since. Well, that is neat. That's cool, Alex. Those super games were so hard. They are insanely hard. In fact, we downloaded them for the Wii before they took down the Wii online store about a year or two ago. And it's insanely hard. Like crazy. I don't know how anybody ever got past it, but who knows? But you're right. Ben's number 4, Shadows of the Empire. That was my first ever Star Wars game. I'm about to read the book, which should be a trip down memory lane. You know, the book's a little challenging. I'm interested in seeing what you think, for sure. Matthew loves the game, the Jedi Knight Shadows game. Mason says, no. Oh, awesome. All right, number 4 for Mason is Commando. The Republic Commando game that's going to be coming out for the Switch pretty soon. He's very excited to play that on the Switch. I have a feeling we're going to have a lot of fun times with that one. Let's go ahead and jump into our number 3 favorite Star Wars video games. Number 3 for me is the Return of the Jedi arcade cabinet. This is the one where it has this digitized ability of Williams going, here goes nothing. You fly the Falcon in. You use the speeder bike weaving in and out of trees, and you can go through these traps and get the other bikes as they chase after you. It was just great fun. And if you get that arcade one, it has that on it, plus the original Star Wars arcade game. So, man, that's something I need to add to the Zero Arcade someday for sure. Ben says, Mason, was that a Darth Vader? No, I have no doubt, Ben, that was what Mason was thinking. Matthew did finish Shadows for the Nintendo 64. Oh, cool. I bet it was it cool? Did it have like cool scenes and stuff? I'm sure it did. Means number 3, the Force Unleashed game. I love the story behind it, and I the pleasure of meeting Sam Witwer a few years back at Rhode Island Comic Con. Oh, nice. Yeah, he's a cool dude, for sure. That's awesome. Mita, really cool. One of my students, Carter, actually, who's a regular on Coffee with Kenobi's Facebook Live, he just read that book and he loved it. Chaz's number 3 is Force Unleashed 2. Terry's number 3, Knights of the Old Republic, which I'm predicting is going to be Blake Weaver's number 1. Just saying, Blake. Just saying, buddy. We'll see. Josh, number 3, Battlefront 1 for EA. I haven't played it in a bit. He prefers it to Battlefront 2 because he likes the playing options more, but Battlefront 2 is still good. You know, I've heard that as well. Number 3 for Matthews, X-Wing versus TIE Fighter. Finally, those games come up. That's good that you brought that up. That's fun. Thomas, Star Wars Squadrons. I know a lot of people wanted more content from this, but I really enjoyed playing with my group of friends. We have a blast. And that's what it's all about, man. You have fun. There's enough content there to keep you busy, and it's just fun. It's really fun. Andrew says, good pick, Mason. Commando would be my first honorable mention. Oh, nice. And in regards to, was Mason doing Darth Vader? No. Mason says, yes, in all caps. Look at that. Mr. Typer over there. I love it. Eric's number 3, The Force Unleashed. Not the longest game ever, but super cool Force powers. Yeah, that really kind of brought what you can do with the Force to a whole other level, didn't it? And I feel like that carried over into Rebels and this newer Star Wars films. Number 3 for Alex is the arcade Star Wars game with the 3D graphics where you get to play through all 3 original movies. Yes. Very, very fun, Alex. Very fun. Number 3 for Blake, Battlefront 2, the most recent one. I was in the beta testing and have stayed a loyal Xbox Online player since. Well, that's neat. That's fun. Andrew's number 3, X-Wing. The hours I spent in our basement as a kid playing the game, and has the absolute best strategy guide ever made with an interwoven narrative story. I would play each level as they came up in the story, so I felt like I was Cayenne Farlander. Nice. And shout out to you for mentioning the actual book. That's cool. The strategy guide. Aaron says, anyone have any recommendations for Mac users? Interesting. You mean so I can upgrade my system? Or do you mean for games? Interesting. Hopefully somebody can weigh in on that one for you, Aaron. Number 3 for Brian, Knights of the Old Republic. Number 3 for Ben, Lego The Force Awakens. I'm so glad they used the actors for the voices and all the side adventures. Now I can't wait for the Skywalker Saga. I'm so excited for that game. I can't wait till it comes out. Andrew says, I'll always be bummed that we never saw what happened after the ending of Unleashed 2. I am too. I really would like to know that as well. A lot of people would. Josh, BattlePod arcade gamer. Full disclosure, I'm not good at it. I've never beaten the first level, but I think it's fun. Yeah, it's just an overwhelming, it's kind of a sensory overload, but in a cool way. Talk about immersive. It's really spectacular. Thomas has to step away from his iPad at the moment. No problem. 2, Jedi Knight Fallen Order. The ending cameo is amazing. And then Knights of the Old Republic. Nice. Very fun. For games, your feed is good so far. Well, I'm glad. So far is the operative word, but I'm optimistic. I did a lot of cleaning of this thing. Getting rid of anything I didn't need. I basically wiped everything off this laptop that I wouldn't need for Facebook Live. So that's why it's a little bit of there's not as much music, and some of the video stuff is going to be a little bit different. But it's okay. And in fact, what you saw at the top of the show is the original video that I ever did before I condensed it a little bit. So good stuff. All right, number 3 for Mason is Star Wars Hunters. Now, look, I haven't played this yet, and it hasn't come out yet. But Mason loved what he saw. He's very optimistic, so he's stepping out, and he's saying, you know what? That's going to be my number 3 favorite Star Wars video game ever. So, all right, Mason, I love it. I love it. That's very exciting. Number 2 for me, Battlefront 2, the new Battlefront 2 from 2017. Look, if it wasn't for Mason, I probably wouldn't have ever played this game, or at least not played it very much. But as I've said repeatedly on Facebook Live every Monday night, he and I have so much fun, and he's so ridiculously good at it. We have the best time. We have the best time with it, and I know he loves it so much. That makes me love it, because you get to experience it with your family, with your kids, and that is what it's all about. Daniel is here. He says, sorry I'm late. I don't play Star Wars games, so just lurking time. Hey, you know what, Daniel? It's okay. And if you get a chance, everybody, go to the CWK Cafe, because last week we did top 5 favorite Star Wars collectibles. And Daniel's Obi-Wan Kenobi cosplay that he has as a member of the Rebel Legion, unbelievable. So cool, Daniel. I mean, it's one of the best I've ever seen, honestly. Hats off to you, brother. So good. Be sure to check it out, everybody. Chaz's number 2 is Jedi Fallen Order. I know I say it all the time, Mace, but we got to finish that. Minta agrees. I haven't played the game yet, but I've heard great things about it. Now I just need to get a PlayStation. That's right. And now with PS5 out, maybe PS4, you can find a good one somewhere. That would be good. Eric's number 2, Star Wars Battlefront 2 for the PS2. Oh, I love it. Old school. Alex's number 2 is The Force Unleashed 2. I had so much fun playing that game over and over again. And Alex, I'm sure you agree with Andrew and some of our other friends that you wish that we could finally see what happens to our main hero from Force Unleashed. Darren, number 2, Star Wars X-Wing on the PC. There you go. I'll always remember those as having those Lucasfilm catalogs where you could buy Star Wars merchandise. This is when Star Wars merchandise wasn't in stores, which seems hard to believe, but it's true. And it was just it was like finding gold. It was. Terry's number 2 is Star Wars arcade game from 1983. Excellent. Brian's Battlefront number 1 from EA. I still play for hours with my brother online. That's fun. And it's pretty cheap in the PlayStation Store now too, which is cool. Andrew's number 2, Lego Star Wars The Complete Saga. Star Wars video games and Lego. These are 3 of my favorite things. The later ones started getting a little too big and lost some of the charm, making this one my favorite in the series. If we were doing Indiana Jones too, I'd probably have the Indiana Jones Lego as my number one. By the way, speaking of Lego and Lucasfilm stuff. What? Blake, are you doing that on purpose? Blake says, surprise, Dan, Knights of the Old Republic is my number 2. The greatest non-canon Star Wars story ever told. Well, I'm glad I didn't bet on it because I would have lost. But cool, I can't wait to see who your number 1 is. Number 2 for Matthew. Star Wars Galaxy for the PC. Loved choosing sides and manipulating worlds. Ooh, I like that. That's awesome. Number 2 for Ben. Nintendo 64. Episode 1 Racer, the pod racing game. I loved it. And yes, I had the Rumble Pack. Sweet. That's so cool. Yeah, that was a great time. Well, hey, man, it's my pleasure, Daniel. And I'm sure other people will agree, too. It's tremendous. Tremendous. Andrew, yes, Star Wars merch from the Jawa trailer. Yeah, that was so great. I was so mesmerized that you could actually get access to it. And there was that part of me that thought, ooh, it's an exclusive club. Ooh, and I love that stuff. I love that stuff so much. Number 2 for Mason is Lego Star Wars Wii, the complete adventures, back for the Nintendo Wii. We get that thing out of the attic once in a while. He's conquered all of the movies, the first 6 films. It's a lot of fun, a lot of wacky, as you know, as the good Lego games do. So cool. All right, good job, Mason. Time for our number 1 favorite Star Wars video game. Dun-dun-dun. If you'll notice, every time this came up earlier, I kind of made a face like, oh yeah, because I try not to reveal my poker face. But the Star Wars arcade game is the greatest. It came out in 1983. You could play it in movie theaters. We played it in arcades. I played at Rancho Obi-Wan a number of times. In fact, one of my biggest missions in life as a Star Wars fan was to go to Rancho Obi-Wan, 1, and 2, to destroy the Death Star on the Star Wars arcade game at Rancho Obi-Wan, and I did it. I was so excited. Oh, man. Plus, Steve is the best anyway, but that's neither here nor there for this video game thing. Just so much fun. I love the Star Wars arcade game, and I need to get it for the house, don't I, Mason? Mason agrees with me. So, yeah, the Star Wars arcade game, the classic one, is my absolute number 1, no doubt about it. Okay. Josh, Star Wars Epic Duels. Oh, he says he cheated because it's a board game, but it's really great fun. You know, it says it had very basic rules and awesome character miniatures. He doesn't own one. His friend owns 2 or 3, so we play with his. He says he played for the, let's see, I'm sorry, let me get that back up here, Josh. You can't find it anymore except on eBay, but almost every time I meet up with a friend of mine for the past several years, we play at least a round or 2. Well, Josh, I'm intrigued. I am intrigued. I want to know more about this game. I have not heard of Star Wars Epic Duels. Number 1 for Chaz is Battlefront 2. All right. Number 1 for Minta, Galaxy of Heroes. My fiance got me hooked on this game a few months back. It's fun to make your own group and battle through several levels. I may or may not hold his phone hostage when I play that game. Well, hey, man, that's what love will do, right? That's awesome. Galaxy Heroes is a game that Mace has recently discovered, and he loves it. And Mace, if you want to add it as an honorable mention, feel free to type it in there or tell me what you'd like to replace it as. Eric's number 1 original X-Wing game for the PC. He spent hours playing that game and studying the strategy guide. I was supposed to be doing homework, Farlander papers. That's great, Eric. I always like when people bring those games up. They're just cool. And I remember when it was suddenly X-Wing versus TIE Fighter, or they just had a TIE Fighter version. You were playing with the Empire. That was so cool. Number 1 for Matthew, Shadows of the Empire for the Nintendo 64. The story sucked me in and expanded upon the book. Yes. It was really cool. And just, it had that kind of an Empire vibe, but it didn't. It was great. Darren. Hello, Darren. Number 1 for Darren is Star Wars TIE Fighter on the PC. There it is. Just mentioned it. Super cool. Brian, Fallen Order, one of the best storylines following Order 66. Yes, for sure. Andrew has number 1, Knights of the Old Republic. This is a Star Wars video game storytelling at its best. I still remember the moment when the twist was revealed. I don't remember my response to I'm your father, but this is the closest I'll ever get to that feeling. I actually don't know what the twist is, but I do know that the trailer, I think it was the trailer for this game, or maybe it was a sequel, I don't know, but it was like one of the coolest trailers ever. And I thought, if they ever made a movie of this, look out. Just incredible stuff. Well, hello, my friend. Greg is here. Star Wars, Lego Star Wars, the complete saga. I love playing this with my son back in the day and having him help me get through the tough spots. Yes. Oh, that's smart, Greg. That's good parenting. Yeah. If it gets too crazy, Mason will take care of business for us. Oh, we take turns on that, but that I totally understand. Number 1 for Terry, Star Wars Galaxies. Was it? I thought this wasn't going to be mentioned tonight until Matthew's number 2. There's a group of people who revived this game as Star Wars Galaxies Legends. I need to check this out sometime. Well, that's cool. See, there's so many of them, aren't there? There's just so many. Alex's number 1 is Jedi Fallen Order. Amazing storytelling and gameplay. Best part is that you can customize your own lightsaber. I know you can really kind of get lost down that rabbit hole, can't you? Number 1 for Blake, Star Wars Galaxies, the online role-playing game. Exploring massive planets, making tons of online friends, and making my own Star Wars character in the universe was my best gaming moment over the last 25 years of gaming. All right, dude. That's cool. That's cool. Andrew says, Josh, Epic Duels is the second PlayStation game I ever owned. Oh, well, how about that? Sorry, that mic reminds me of Bob Barker coming down. Oh, totally. It totally does. It sounds good, too. Ben, number 1, Battlefront 2. The story with Iden Versio is fantastic. I love all the different multiplayer modes, especially co-op. I'm terrible at it, so Mason probably beat me a ton of times, but still lots of fun. Well, Ben, now that you mentioned that, Battlefront 2, my number 2, is Mason's number 1. It is Mason's favorite Star Wars arcade game. He didn't even have to think about it. Well, hello, Carter. We were just talking about you, buddy. I was talking about how you had read the Force Unleashed novel and how much you liked it. Mason's honorable mention is Galaxy of Heroes. Very good. Hey, Matthew, good to have you, buddy. Have a magical night as well. Minta's honorable mention is the Battlefront games. Cool. My honorable mention might be the Nintendo 64 Squadrons game. That was pretty cool. There was one for the GameCube that my brother wanted me to get, or he was actually going to buy me the GameCube, but I ran out and bought it because I knew there was a Star Wars game, and that was the only reason. I didn't care what other games they had. It was just, so I played it, and I liked it fine, but long-term it wasn't as cool. Usually the thing that draws me in is when there's ad stuff. That's always my favorite thing. Andrew's honorable mention, Commando, because it's awesome. Star Wars Demolition, because it's absolutely ridiculous. Yeah, it is. It is, but it is fun, isn't it? That's a good choice. That is a good choice. Well, all right, everybody. Thank you so much for sharing your top 5 favorite Star Wars video games. Alex's honorable mention is Star Wars Commando for the Xbox. Here's Olive Carter's 5 Vader Immortal. Ooh, nice. 4 Fallen Order. The newest Battlefront 2. The older Battlefront 1. And then the Force Unleashed 1 and 2. Especially after reading the novel version. I have a whole new respect for Juno Eclipse and Starkiller's story arc. Beautifully made and written. Awesome, Carter. I knew you'd have some good choices there, for sure. Carter's honorable mention is Fallen Order. Never played it, but I've seen the gameplay and it looks great. It looks beautiful. Yeah, it's a great game. But you probably want to know what next week's top 5 is. We're going to change it up again, but kind of go back to what we've been doing a while ago. Top 5 R2-D2 moments. Let's give that blue astromech that we love so much some love. We're returning to looking at some of the characters. Top 5 R2-D2 moments. Yes, yes, yes. Anything goes too. Comics, books, Clone Wars, Rebels, even though he's not really in Rebels very much, and naturally the films. So that's going to be fun. The tie game, Daniel says, looks great. Totally does. Totally does. Eric's honorable mention is Knights of the Republic 1 and 2. Can't believe forgot those, and Republic Commando and Old Rebel Assault. R2-D2 the droid. That is right. That's going to be fun stuff. All right. Yeah, so that is next week's top 5. And Mason is very excited, and he's saying, no. It's funny. All right. Well, as I said, I'm using an older version of my thing, so we're going to jump into, I guess I do have the video here. Let's see how this works. Fingers crossed. Oh, well, okay. I guess I didn't cross my fingers enough. No big deal. Let's jump into Ask Dan Z. It's a much quicker show tonight. I just want to make sure that I get the entire feed out and record it so that I can share with everybody. Of course, if you missed the live feed here now, you can catch it on our YouTube channel. You can check it out on our Facebook page in perpetuity, and naturally on Instagram TV on our Instagram channel. And of course, after the show's over, I upload it to our podcast feed so you can hear the audio of it as Okay. So Mason says, no, with like a million ins and O's. Trying to come up with the best R2 moments. We got a good one, though, don't we, buddy? Blake says, R2 is a true hero of the Skywalker saga. This will be hard. I know. It will be hard. Josh says he's going to need to go through my memory banks. Oh, I see what you did there. Clever. So many and never given much thought to this. Well, now is the time, my friend. The R2D2 scream is strong in me thinking about the top 5 moments. Oh. What would I rate WandaVision? Okay, so this is an Ask Dan Z. I would rate WandaVision as one of the most original, exciting, creative pieces of television in genre. It's one of my favorite things that not only Marvel but anybody's ever done because it's just very creative, it's innovative, it's unlike anything I've seen before, and the fact that people who are non-genre fans can just dive in and love it. I mean, Deanna loved it as much as Mason and I did, and that's great. Like, you don't have to have, yes, you can have all the knowledge about the Marvel movies, but you don't have to have them and enjoy it just as much, and I think that's brilliant. Alex wants to know if I'm going to get the leather-bound version of the Star Wars book. Well, Alex, I do want to. I will say that's a hefty price tag, but I think it's so cool that a book I wrote, there's a leather-bound version of it. I'm tempted, buddy. I am tempted. Daniel says, if I were to start with a game and console, which is the best? Honestly, I mean, because it's a little bit cheaper now, if I were you, I would get a PlayStation 4 or an Xbox 360 and get Battlefront 2. It's great fun. There's so many things you can do. You can use vehicles. You can have solo stuff. You can do the actual story with Iden Versio, which is fantastic. There's online stuff. I think it's great. I think it is so great. Mason is saying a million. A million? What's a million? That's what you're rating WandaVision. I agree. A million is an excellent choice. Computer-related question. Have you thought about trying the Chromebook? I use mine a lot, and I swear it's my favorite computer to date. I love the Chromebook. I use a Chromebook for school all the time. I wouldn't use it for the show because of all the video and all the other stuff I got to do for the podcast, and the Chromebook only uses Google stuff. But I love Chromebooks. I think they're excellent. Can we get a special sneak preview of the CWK guests the next few weeks? Well, one I definitely can't say. And I will say that I'm recording this week with Amira Martin, who I was in the Target commercial with from Four Hats and Frugal, and she's awesome. And we're going to have our top 5 favorite Star Wars females. So there's a fun one that's going to come out this Thursday, Blake. How about that? Mason Carter agrees with you, Mason. Yeah, it's good stuff. Dan, have you read the new Alphabet Squadron book? I have. The review is on Coffee with Kenobi. And Eric, what do you think of it? I like this one better than the second one, personally. Very great for Marvel and Disney to let this show go at its own pace. Exactly. How much is the leather-bound book? I think it's like $125. I didn't even know it was a thing. And Alex posted it in the CWK Cafe, and I thought I wanted to make sure it was legitimate, so I reached out to my publisher, and they told me, yep, this is a real thing. Sometimes they pick select books from DK and other publishers, and they give it that treatment, so pretty cool. Josh says, is Galaxy's Edge worth it without Rise of the Resistance? I'm going to try as hard as I can to get on, but I know there's a chance I won't get to ride. Is it worth it if I can't get on Rise? Look, Rise of Resistance is spectacular, but being at Galaxy's Edge, building I would build a lightsaber more than I would do anything at Galaxy's Edge, including riding Rise of Resistance, including riding the Falcon. But Josh, just seeing the Falcon, walking through, drinking, well, the Blue Milk's not great, but just do it for the experience. Going and getting a Ronto wrap, drinking in the atmosphere, going through the marketplace. It's wonderful. And you know what, just get there early, and I think you have 2 chances during the day to try, so just do your best, man. I think even if you don't get it, it's worth it. Raya and the Last Dragon. I have not seen Raya and the Last Dragon, actually. I want to. I know it just came out, and what did you think of it? Everyone I know who's seen it is raving about it, and I'm sure it's great. Blake wants to know if I own any custom figures made by fans. I do not. I know that a couple of, 8 years ago, they used to have a Carbon Freeze Me experience at Celebration where you could Like they would take images of your face and put it on a Han Solo figure in carbonite, or they put your face on a stormtrooper figure. I really wish I would have done that. That would have been so cool. I would love to do that. But I would have been debating the entire time, what kind of expression would I make? What kind of expression do you make when you're in the carbon freeze chamber? Hey, John is here. What's up, buddy? He says, what do you think of Disney potentially breaking their timeline rules in Galaxy's Edge by bringing in Grogu? Would you like to see all the big characters there regardless of the timeline? I hadn't heard that. Of course, I only traffic in what they were confirming. But, John, if that was true, I'd love it. I think that Galaxy's Edge is one of my favorite places ever. But I think the more you can open up the Star Wars universe to everybody, the better. I think that would be great. And timeline-wise, who knows? Who knows how Grogu fits into that? That would be awfully, awfully cool. Have you booked your trip to the Star Cruiser yet? Well, no one has, but believe me, that thing is high on my list, and I've got a good feeling about this, Alex. I'm looking forward to hopefully getting a chance to experience that. That would be great. That would be great. I think it'd be well worth. I've been saving money for it because I think it'd be awesome. Mita says that Raya and the Last Dragon is a great movie. Highly recommend it. Either Disney Plus or the theater. Okay. Well, noted. That's good to hear. Well, everybody, thank you again so much for joining me tonight for CWK Live and sharing your top 5 favorite Star Wars video games. Next week, we're going to have our top 5 favorite R2-D2 moments. It's going to be a blast, and if there's any Star Wars news this week, we will certainly tackle that as well. This is Dan. I'd love to hear you on a podcast with just your favorite Disney park thoughts. You know what? I'm going to do that. And Blake, in CWK, on the CWK Porvo or CWK Cafe, we have lots of crazy stuff that we talk about all the time, as you know, and that's going to be a good one to come up with in the near future. Tom's not as versed in Disney theme parks, but we need to get him back so we can do that as well. Alex, thank you, brother. Thanks for joining us. Minta, may the Force be with you. Thanks for everything. And Mary, have a great week. Thank you so much as well. Greg, another great show. Nice to see everyone here. Sorry we're late. Hey, Greg, your hall pass is good, buddy. You never have to apologize. Carter, I will see you in school tomorrow, definitely. Terry, thank you for joining us. Mason, I will see you in a few minutes, and I'll tell you a story, buddy. How about that? Says, love you, my CWK family, and Dan, you're the best. Good night, everyone. Blake, good night, buddy. Thanks for everything. Thanks for participating. And Eric, thanks for joining us. Everybody have a great week. Be sure to tune in Thursday on your podcast feed to hear our top 5 favorite Star Wars women. It's going to be fun. Daniel, have a great week. Alex, you too. Take care, everybody. I'll see you next time. Have a good one.